Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with the last video in my Learn Tarot series of the Major Arcana. This is the World card. My next video will be on the court cards, and I will do one video for each of the court cards. So it will be a video about cups. It will be a video about pages, knights, queens and kings, and within that I shall incorporate cards from all the suits and from different decks as well, so that we can have a good look at the court cards. I know the court cards are something that a lot of people struggle with, myself included, so I look forward to getting into those, but I'm really pleased today to be bringing you the last of the Major Arcana. It's been quite a journey just to do these 21 videos, to be honest. I do hope that they've been helpful for people and that you've enjoyed the way that I've done these videos. Please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you do enjoy these videos. Anyway, without further ado, so this is the World card. And I shall follow the same format as I have done throughout. I'm going to tell you what the World card means to me. I shall show you some of my tarot cards here, and then if you're interested in using the energy of the World card for shadow work or self-reflection, I'll give you some questions that you might find helpful. So for me, the World card, it's card number 21, obviously. I think it's represented by Saturn. It incorporates Leo, Taurus, Aquarius and Scorpio, I believe. And they are the four links, the four signs that link the world to the ever-turning Wheel of Fortune. And it is symbolic of the four elements, or the four compass points and four corners of the universe. You know, you can go in any direction, as with the Wheel of Fortune. So it represents a successful conclusion, a long-standing project coming to an end, with accompanying praise. You know, this is generally a positive card, I think. This can represent celebration and success of a completion or a conclusion. It could mean that you've become an expert or a teacher on any given subject that you're interested in. This card can even for some represent travel on short notice or even long trips, as it is the World card. This is really generally a wonderful card of wholeness, perfection, satisfaction, happiness, joy, really. The card usually indicates endings on a big scale. They're the important ones, really, where the querent's efforts, skills, knowledge, wisdom, all of those things will pay off big time. So I think this card tells you to be grateful for what you have. This card represents self-actualization and the integration of self that leads to wholeness. In its upper realms, this is a fully expressed individuality. This is a natural visionary. This card is innovative and original and represents attainment and completion. In its lower realms, this card can be fragmented, delayed. There can be delayed development, delayed ability to complete a task, a lack of vision, not being true to yourself, and disappointment, really. So, I've got the card stuck to my arm there again, as usual. Let me just move this Mary L. tarot book here. I'll put that there so I can come back to that in a mo. So with the Rider-Waite Smith card here, this is from the Radiant Wise tarot deck here. I think the woman here is like the world dancer, really, and she holds two wands. And I think that through those wands flows the energy of life, and the energy of life flows throughout her. And I think that's represented by the sort of material that is flowing around her. The four creatures represent the four elements and a kind of manifestation of those elements in every area of your life. The wreath suggests victory. The wreath around her sort of, to me, suggests victory. But I think it's also meant to represent like the birth canal, if you like, of the Fool as he emerges, because we must remember that we can travel from the Fool to the world and back again. It's a kind of as above and so below. You can travel in both directions simultaneously, always learning, always moving. What else do we have here? We've got a very, very similar image here in the Cosmic Tarot deck, which is this one here. We see the world dancer here. She's got her wand, but I think only one wand in this one. She's surrounded by flowing material there to represent movement. We've got the four creatures, the zodiac creatures around her, and I think this card really does sort of represent the dance to the rhythm of life, really, the rhythm of joy and completeness and wholeness. In the Tarot of Oppositions, which is this deck here, we've got the World card in its light and its shade. And I think in its light, again, we've got a very similar image here. We've got the wreath, we've got sunflowers, which represent sort of life force and creativity and energy. We've got the world dancer there with her wand. And I think this really does represent being in flow, facing yourself and facing your life with all the possibilities that it offers, being in the flow and the rhythm of life. And in its negative lights, there's still a gateway here, there's still a doorway, there's still the wreath here, which the Fool can enter and depart. But we see the woman here with her back turned to life, and to me I think this perhaps represents resisting the flow, kind of resisting possibilities, resisting movement, still facing the future and those possibilities, but resisting, not going with the flow and not feeling the joy of life. You know, it's more of an endurance, it's more of something that you feel you might need to do rather than something that you want to do. So I think that in its light attributes, this is being in flow, and in its shadow attributes, this is being stuck, isn't it? In the Book of Shadows, which is this deck here, the Book of Shadows, Volume 2, this is a really interesting card. I like this very much. She's very much like the Fool in this card here. She's out in the world, but unlike the Fool, I think that the world dancer here, she kind of knows how to walk through life now. She's not the Fool anymore. She's not that innocent, sort of just that innocent potential anymore. She knows how to walk through life with confidence and trusting. And I think this card very much says that the person here has begun to really co-create their own reality. You know, they really are part of things. Again, that word of being in the rhythm and the flow of life. And we have the zombie card. I do love these zombie deck cards. Let me move those over so they don't keep getting stuck to my elbow. So yeah, this is the World card in the zombie deck. And this really is completion, isn't it? In the Judgment card, we had that decision about, do we drop the bomb? Do we end things and start again? And here we can see in the World card that has happened. The bomb has been dropped. The lovers are safe in their shelter while the world burns above them, and the world will be reborn again. So really, this card is kind of the Fool's journey, starting again, isn't it? This is a rebirth. You know, this man and woman here may well have a baby, and the cycle of life begins again. So I think that's quite interesting. I've also got a card, the World card here from my Mary L deck, which, as I've said before, is something that I'm still learning. This is a very, very esoteric deck full of symbology of all different kinds, and I'm still trying to learn this deck, really, or the added information contained within this deck. So I shall read from the book for this, just so that I can do it justice, to be honest. So, what have we got here? So the world is the landscape of the abyss in which the Fool transverses. Together they are like the god and goddess, heaven and earth, womb and ray of light. She is the sky, he is the sun. There are many opposites and contrasts, and none are exactly equal. In many myths, at the end of a person's life or at the end of the world, the person is weighed or judged, and the good people go to heaven and the bad people go to hell. Or you go to heaven or you go to hell, depending on such things as the weight of your heart. If you're happy, if you did good deeds, if you treated the least of people well, if you were charitable. The parts that are deemed bad are fed to a beast to be devoured, or tossed into a volcano or a fiery pit. Symbols like these don't happen in the same order described, because in the place they spring from, be it eternity or their own psyche, time does not function in the same way. I would propose to you that when you are weighed at the end of your life, it is not the whole of you that goes here or there, but parts of you. And it isn't just at the end of your life, but it is a process that is part of your whole life. And I think in this card here, this goddess here is Maat, M-A-A-T, the Egyptian goddess of order in chaos, like Tiamat. And many goddesses of order are cut into pieces in which to create the world, just like the eternal is cut into pieces by words to effect creation. And so the world will be cut into 4 pieces. So Maat judges you and weighs you and makes your chaos into order. She defines you, determines your judgment, good or bad. I say she creates you with division and then cuts you apart at the end and sends the part that is lighter than a feather, your heart or your soul, onto the afterlife. And the parts that are heavy are your body, your gross material, your physical presence. She sends those to be devoured by Amut, a symbol of the earth, and in Amut you will be absorbed by the black soil of your grave to be purified and become the gross material of something else. She is the womb of life where everything goes and becomes. Her body is the divided landscape in which the drama of life will play out. The body of the universe that the Fool will jump into to develop his soul, to go from innocence to experience, knowledge and wisdom. Inside her is the mirror where God can look at himself. So upright, this card represents success, accomplishment, reaching the full potential, the bigger picture, the master plan, moving with the flow of the universe, your fate, your destiny, and the will of God. And reversed or negative, this card represents being unfinished, incomplete, setbacks, delays, disappointments, lack of closure, struggling and resisting the natural flow of the universe. So as I said, this card really truly is as above and so below, isn't it? That you can travel in both directions simultaneously, from the Fool to the world and back again. So if we were going to meditate upon the energy of the World card, if you wanted to use this card, this energy, this archetype for your shadow work or your self-reflection, you could ask such questions as, what have you learned about your own unique individuality, your potential? Are there areas of your life where you are not true to yourself? So if life is a continuous process of becoming, do you have a growth mindset? Do you seek that wholeness? And lastly, just to take time to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. So what have you learned about your own unique individuality, your potential? Are there areas of life where you are not true to yourself? And if life is a continuous process of becoming, do you have that growth mindset? Do you seek that wholeness? And lastly, to take time to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. And that's what I'm doing here today, because I'm so pleased to have completed all of the cards of the major arcana, and I really look forward to seeing you again with the next cards in this this installment, really, with the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. So I do hope that you enjoyed this, and if you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I look forward to seeing you again in the future with the next part in this series. So thank you.